Hello, fellow students. We're entering the fourth puzzle now, and this is the current situation. It's white to move, and by the looks of it, white has a very solid advantage because the pawns on e4 and f3 is just completely um, restricting both the knight on f6 and the bishop on g6. Black has an isolated pawn on e6. And well, this bishop is also limited thanks to this pawn on g3. Well, white on the other hand, he has a nice post on c4. Very solid pawn structure intact, and well, it's easier for him to organize his pieces this way. Okay, but sure, white has the advantage and he has all the possible positional pluses here. But how does white continue to exert pressure or keep improving his position from this point? Okay, so our answer is, well, at least the right answer is to move b3. Very, very unexpected move, right? Since all white's pieces can easily be organized, let's say for instance if black doubles up with rook d8, he's not really threatening much. In fact, white has two defenders on c2 and d1, and if we really wanted to challenge the d-file, black's d-file pressure, we can just easily play bishop e2 and remove all the rooks on the chessboard. But white's main problem is this bishop isn't doing a lot of things for him, or it's not really doing much because black's pawn to c5 is completely limiting it. And if white was thinking about improving his bishop somewhere else instead of b3, for instance, if white plays bishop g5, this is completely temporary. And if black just simply plays the move h6, white has to make a decision on where he wants to put the bishop again. And this is not really much of improving if you're removing the bad bishop or the bishop that wasn't doing much earlier, because if you trade off that bishop for that knight, which we were just talking about this knight, apparently that's a restricted knight and it's not doing much, so this is probably not a fair deal to us or for us. Also, by removing the bishop on the dark squared bishop on the chessboard, black could possibly control and take advantage of the dark squares in the position. So white should have been thinking about how to find the maximum way of using the potential or developing the potential of his pieces. Maybe rook d2 was a good way of improving too, but after rook fd8 and after rook fd1, still it's not easy to see how white will actually take advantage of his positional pluses in the position. But after b3, white decided that he wants to transfer the bishop back to c1 and head to bishop b2. I think this one creates an immediate impact because this bishop is pointing towards the king on h8, and at the same time white is planning on dominating the dark squares by eventually maybe winning the bishop pair by playing knight e5, as what we might see in the game. After b3, black played rook fd8. White continued with bishop c1, just following his plan. Black played queen fa, trying to overprotect the g7 pawn, opening up the rook on d7 to protect the g7 or the 7th rank. And white just continued with his plan by playing bishop b2, and black played h6. It's very hard to see what black is really trying to do here, but I guess he was trying to create some space for his pieces by playing knight h7 or knight g5. Still, it's not much of an improvement. White just simply takes his time. Once again, if you have the time in your hand, opponent not threatening anything and he can't improve his position, you can simply remove all the weaknesses that you have, as what we have seen from the previous example. Black played knight g8, and now first plan, get the bishop pair. Okay, bishop takes e5, and it's very hard for black to challenge white's supremacy on the dark squares now with that dark squared bishop on c7 is gone. Black played knight e7, trying to improve. Maybe, hopefully, he was wishing that he can place his knight to d4. So what do we do, guys? We know exactly what he's trying to do. Opponent is trying to create an impact into the position by improving his knight to c6 and towards d4. So we should probably prevent it, and the move is bishop e5. Okay, following the system, fifth step, we should be looking for our opponent's possible replies as well. Obviously, rook takes d1 isn't going to do any damage towards white's position, but it's black played a very interesting move, which is knight into d5. How would you react to the move knight d5? What's the threat? Obviously, it was threatening knight e3, so it's an active form of an active defense. He's trying to solve his problems with by tactical means. Okay, so white to move. How to deal with this move? Okay, there's no easy way of dealing with this. In fact, the solution here is something that you have to treat the position in a way that you won't care about the material, but you are actually trying to understand the position. So white played the move queen c1. Very nice move. Tactical, and also he's trying to perform a temporary exchange sacrifice, or at least he has a compensation, huge compensation for the exchange sacrifice, because black has knight e3 check next move. But white has foreseen this move, and therefore he just simply captured it, and he was okay with losing the exchange temporarily, but in return he has this queen takes h6 check, putting black under a lot of pressure. Just look at the power of those bishop pair. Black played queen f7, hoping that he can play queen g6 if white captures on e6 so he can trade down some pieces. But white to move. How does white continue from here? Answer is white just simply plays queen f4, retaining his flexibility with the bishop pair, and at the same time setting up a trap that if black takes on e6 he would be in trouble because he gets checkmated after bishop takes g7 check. So going back to queen f4, black just simply played rook d8 instead of taking the bishop on e6, and well, white simply removed the defender of the g7 pawn by playing bishop f7, and after queen c6, queen g5, forking the rook on d8 and also threatening checkmate on g7, which made black resign. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. This is the solution for problem number 4, and hope you guys found the solution for that one. That one was pretty hard, but this is something that you can consider in your tournament game. Sometimes when you're improving your position, you don't necessarily have to just maneuver your pieces. Sometimes you have to make way for that piece by pushing a pawn. By pushing a pawn, you create the space for a certain piece that you want to improve. Well, thanks for tuning in, and goodbye.